right about now. The Funk Soul Brother, check it out now. The Funk Soul Brother, right about now. The Funk Soul Brother, check it out now. The Funk Soul Brother, right about now. The Funk Soul Brother, check it out now. The Funk Soul Brother, right about now. The Funk Soul Brother, right about now. About now, about now, about now.
Sometimes, you know, you just gotta accept what happens. Like, one time I was driving my car around, right, and I hit this dog. And what happened was, the dog was about to die, and I thought, okay, should I leave it? And I said no. So what I did was, I backed over, put my car in reverse, and ran over the dog again. Now see, the moral of this story is that if you do something, you gotta commit to it. And what happened was, I hit the dog, and you need to commit to killing it. And that's just life right there, man. Well, to a point, I totally disagree with women's suffrage. I mean, I'm against suffering in all human races, and I'm including women as a race. Because first of all, I don't agree with suffering. That's why we freed the slaves, because we don't want them to suffer. And I don't agree with women's suffering either.
No, women's suffrage has been
rights.
Wait, what is women's suffering?
Voting.
Rights.
You dumbass. It's a joke. It's a joke, man. Goddamn.
I don't even understand this, kid. I'm serious.
I know what women's suffering is. Women's suffrage. Anyway. So what are we doing?
Yeah, alright.
I know. So anyways, what are we talking about now?
You know it's a joke? Women's rights.
Josh, cut it out.
You know what's something really funny? It's black. Me, it's just really, it's an ethnic group. Like, you know, of course, we're all, I can't see anything right now. We're all Jewish in one regard, and that is by birth. At 8 days after birth, we were made Jewish. So I was, and now everybody kind of was too. And what Judaism means to me is just kind of a moral, it's a moral aspect. It's a moral way of living. You know, the Torah we follow the Torah because the Torah is what God gave to us. And we need to follow that because we'll go to hell if we don't. And I don't really want to do that. That's what Judaism means to me. Speaking of beef, have you ever read the book, what is it called? It's called Fast Food Nation. That's what I'm talking about. It talks about the beef industry. I think it's a wonderful book because, first of all, we need to know where our beef comes from, alright? If it's not kosher, which sometimes people eat that, you know, I eat that occasionally, sometimes I don't, but sometimes I do. And the non-kosher beef, I want to know where that comes from. And what happens is, where it comes from these ranches out in Nebraska, right?
What type of ranches?
Cattle ranches. And the cattle ranches, apparently, there's mounds, there's so much, they form almost 90% of the methane emissions in this country. And methane is a huge greenhouse gas. And all those dung piles that the cows produce, they decay and they create that methane. And it's just terrible. It's a terrible situation. That's why I try to only eat one hamburger a day. Try to keep it down, you know. Try to keep the cheeseburgers and all that stuff. Try to keep it out. It's not good for you either. Beef has far too much cholesterol in it. And that's really why it's about the beef industry for you.
If you catch me at the border, I got visas in my name. If you come around here, I'll make them all day. I get one down in a second if you wait. I fly like paper, get high like planes. If you catch me at the border, I got visas in my name. sitting